Solveiga, first of all, thank you for joining me for a second time on the StandOut90Sec recording, which we just concluded. But this is looking back into our first engagement, which happened about 8 months ago, right? So the first question to you is, what were you thinking before saying yes when I reached out to you saying, hey, Solveiga, will you join me on my show? So what were some of the feelings you had when you first got my notice? And the second question is, right before showing up on the show and giving me the thumbs up to hit record, what did you feel?
Well, first I was surprised to be invited, but secondly, when I looked at your show, it made me feel very uneasy because for many years, being on the recorded conversation made me feel very imperfect. I have a fear of public speaking, and especially something changes when I see myself on the recorded conversation because I become aware of the mistakes I make. And suddenly I start stumbling or stuttering or just stopping in the middle of a sentence. And seeing that I will have to answer 5 questions in 90 seconds made me feel uneasy. But I also knew that perhaps this is a reason I have to do it because it's difficult. And I made a promise to myself to do everything that is challenging. So that was definitely it's a challenge.
So just before I hit record, right? What did you have any misgivings, self-doubt? How did you overcome that?
Oh, I definitely did. And I felt uneasy. I feel scared, but also like we haven't met before. But somehow, like when we met and we just talked for 5 minutes before, somehow it became easier because you ask question like, so what was the worst things can happen? Why are you worried? And I don't know, somehow like just seeing you and seeing also like I don't know, it made it feel much easier, and your smile as well.
Good. Yeah, it's good to hear. So let's talk about post recording, right? So let's pick the two events that happened. One is when I sent the video out to you, and so what were your feelings when you saw yourself in the video? But more importantly is your journey from that point to today. Clearly, I've seen you at close quarters and seeing how you evolved. But for the larger community, can you talk about how that helped you get over some of your fears and becoming like adept at hosting a panel, public speaking, etc.? So, how did that help your journey?
Well, it helped me a lot. Like, first, like, it was the first time when I got a recording and I thought I did better than I thought because it was the most challenging experience, but I answered all the questions in 90 seconds or less. I didn't stop. I didn't say a single time, and I thought I did better than I thought. And in some ways also it became a very good promotional video for me, for all the speeches, for all different events. And the feedback I was getting that people got to know me in those short, like 90 seconds. And in some ways, they could see me who I am as a person. And yes, maybe to see that not perfect, but still trying to speak.
Yeah, that's an important point because sometimes we lose sight of the fact that our imperfections is what connects us to other human beings, right? And so just being yourself allows for that journey to evolve. Now, the other thing is just from a getting to be more comfortable in your own shoes, right? I mean, I know I've seen a lot of the community outreach, but was that something that you had experienced for the first time, where strangers were reaching out to you saying, I connect with what you said, I connected with who you are, and how did that make you feel?
So I actually, this year was definitely a year of getting out of a comfort zone in so many different levels. And I'm happy that I did because I found some qualities about myself that I didn't know that I have. I've learned new things. I became more comfortable speaking or being in on this recorded conversation. And what I found that yes, you don't need to be perfect to make a difference. And there are so many people who feel exactly the same as me, especially immigrants, who also concerned not only about what they say and how we get judged on the content, but also on how we are going to say and the words we will mispronounce.
Yeah.
So I really want to encourage others to get out of your comfort zone and just to be themselves and tell their stories.
Awesome. So final question to you. I know we just did our second Standout in 90 Sec, 8 months after the first one.
Yes.
So what was your experience like today?
Well, first of all, thank you for inviting for the second one. But the experience was definitely different because, yeah, I know you. I met you several times. You've been amazing. You've been such a nice support, and I also got to know so many people. And yeah, it felt different because now I feel like talking with a friend versus talking with a stranger.
No, it's good to know. It's like, and again, just for people watching over here, Solveiga and I never met in person at all. But this is kind of part of the magic over here is once people open themselves up, you feel that connection that you sometimes don't even feel with people you meet in person because of the front they put up, right? So, I think it's a good realization that we can really make deep and enduring connections with absolute strangers in really short amounts of time if we are honest with ourselves, if we bring out our true self. That's really the magic over here. So again, thanks for coming here a second time and looking forward to meeting you in person sometime soon.
Thank you so much, Ashwin. You're amazing. Thank you.
Bye, Solveiga.